Hi, I'm Chris.
And I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Fergal.
And we're from Movie Smash.
Comic book movies are having a golden age right now with the MCU.
Movies based on comics aren't necessarily a new thing, but they're a big thing.
Join us every other Tuesday on Movie Smash.
We explore these movies and find some hidden gems.
Every other week, we revisit some of the best.
And some of the worst movies based on comics or graphic novels.
Was Green Lantern as bad as you remember?
Heck no!
Is Time Cop the most accurate time travel movie ever created?
Absolutely.
Was Mystery Men way ahead of its time?
Should they be revisited? Should they be forgotten?
Join us on Movie Smash and find out. Listen wherever you find your fine podcasts.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the latest episode of All Too Real 2. My name is Michael E. Cullen II, and with me, as always, is...
Sesame, Ant-Man, you've got a spider on your motherfucking head, and Carta.
Word. That is a beautiful name. It's very poetic, and it's made me rethink my life.
Good. That was
now,
the intent.
Yeah, now I need to change my ways.
Do it.
Yes, I'm going to be evil now.
No.
Oh, wait.
Oh, that's not what I meant.
Oh, it worked the wrong way, buddy.
Damn it, Lilo.
So I'm off to commit crimes.
Damn it.
I'm going to steal money from my boss.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, no, I like my boss, so I don't think I want to do that. Anyways, so...
Boss had like $700,000 of cash in a vault somewhere.
Not that I'm aware of.
And your boss doesn't collect weird, like, God shit.
No.
Okay.
She doesn't have statues with weird, like, face dicks on them or anything, so... or dicks with a face. So, today, my lovely listeners, we are covering the 1997 film called Nothing to Lose as part of our All 290s review movie thingamabobber, you know? That's what it's called officially. And the IMDb synopsis of this movie is Nick's wife is in bed with his boss. He later gets a gun to his head by a carjacker, but steps on the gas pedal. They end up friends after adventures together, holdups, burglary, reckless driving, and revenge. Twists follow. Dun dun dun.
Weird. That's a very odd description of the movie.
No.
It's like,
Yeah,
on the one hand, really specific about certain things in the movie, and then it gets, like, really vague afterwards.
Twists follow.
Like, you specifically mention, like, someone driving fast, and, like mention putting your foot on the gas pedal, but then everything else, twists follow. It's like, okay, bro, that's like...
I think I want to make
what?
a movie called Twists Follow.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be like no twists in the whole movie. It's just going to be a standard.
Every mundane thing is like being filmed, but like when it comes to like the big stuff, it's just like an overview. So it's like he put the keys in his pocket. Make sure you put that in there. He drove the car. He turned the car on. He put his foot to the gas pedal. Oh, by the way, he bound the country, you know, and then you move on. Like it's like.
He was wearing a blue dress shirt with a tie. I believe the tie was made by Hugo Boss. And wait, no, just like go into real detail.
Yeah. Oh god.
Yeah. So this movie was directed by Steve Odekirk, and written by Steve Odekirk. He is a actor, director, and writer who he wrote Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls, Bruce Almighty. He wrote and starred in Kung Pao: Enter the Fist. He wrote Cowboys and Aliens. He wrote Jimmy Neutron: Boy Genius.
Okay.
He wrote the screenplay for Patch Adams. He wrote The Nutty Professor with Eddie Murphy. He was one of the main writers for In Living Color for years as well. Yeah, he's done a lot of stuff. Yeah. And as far as directing goes, he directed the movie Barnyard, the animated film. He directed Kung Pao Enter the Fist. He directed Thumb Wars, The Phantom Cuticle. He directed something called SteveOdekirk.com, probably like a stand-up special or something. Directed Nothing to Lose, and he directed Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls. Yeah, so yeah, he's done some stuff. He has a cameo in this movie too. So yeah, the movie stars Martin Lawrence as Terrence Paul Davidson, Tim Robbins as Nick Beam, John C. McGinley as Davis Rigg Lanlow, Giancarlo Esposito as Charlie Dunt, and I'm going to repeat that. That's Giancarlo Esposito, not Giancarlo Esposito, as a lot of people want to say. But yeah. I heard an interview with him on Mark Maron, and that's how he said that his name is supposed to be pronounced. So that's how I pronounce it. It's Giancarlo Esposito, but a lot of people will be like Giancarlo Esposito, but no. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. And, Kelly Preston as Ann Beam. Michael McKean as Philip P.B. Barrow. So this movie has two people from Better Call Saul in it. Yep.
True.
You got Mr. Esposito and Mr. McKean in this. Yes. You have Rebecca.
Odenkirk, not Bob Odenkirk, but still.
Yeah, it's spelled differently.
Oh, is it? Okay.
This guy's Oda Kirk. The other guy
okay.
is Kirk. There's like an N in there in Bob's name that's not in this guy's name. We've got Rebecca Gayheart as Danielle, Susan Barnes as Dolores, Irma P. Hall as Bertha Mama Davison, and so on. And like I said, Steve Odekirk is in there, and he's as the security guard Baxter who likes to dance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what's your thoughts on this movie?
It was okay. I remember I loved this movie when I was like 13 or 14 when it came out. And, it's not as good as I remember it being, but it was still okay. It was a decent comedy, I think.
Yeah.
I do think the acting on Tim Robbins' part seemed a little phoned in. Like, he didn't seem like he was like into the role unless that was just the personality of his character, but it was just kind of like, I don't know. Just seemed kind of like, I don't know.
He seemed okay. It is kind of hard for Tim Robbins to like top his Shawshank acting. You know what I mean? It's like
that could be it too. And I didn't really like how his hair cut in the movie that much, but and I do his tan suit. But like other than that, I'm like criticizing him so much. But no, I thought it was a good movie. This was like during like
like his tan suit. You were one of those people that thought the worst thing Obama ever did was wear a tan suit too, right?
Yes.
I know you.
So, first thing ever in the history of humanity was Obama wearing a tan suit.
Man, I miss the days that was like the biggest political controversy there was.
Yeah, they called it Tangate.
Yeah.
Gate. And then that's because of that, they started in the trend of everything having gate after the thing. And so it was Tangate, and then everything else became something gate after that because of Watergate.
It's a callback to Watergate. Yeah. I mean, a lot of other people have done that shit too, though. So I don't know if it was just Fox News, because they're so fair and balanced. I'm not going to give them credit for anything. But
that's true. So I didn't like his suit that much, but like, I thought it was a good comedy. This is when Martin Lawrence really started to blow up a little bit. This was after Bad Boys, I believe.
Yeah.
So Bad Boys Part 1, and then because Bad Boys 2, I think came out, was it 2000 when Bad Boys 2 came out, I think?
This was, let's see here.
I think Bad Boys 2 came out as a 99 or 2000.
Bad Boys 2 came out in 2003.
2003? Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah. Bad Boys 1 came out in 95. And then he was doing, he from 92 to 97, he was on his own TV show. He was also in a thin line between love and hate. And then, in 99, he did Life, and then he did Blue Streak in 99, and then he did Big Mama's House in 2000. Yeah, this was kind of like right when he was kind of rising,
But you forgot it's the best movie ever he made, Mike.
Yes, Black Knight.
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
In 2001.
Yes.
And that was followed. That was followed in 2003 by National Security, which is another. I remember liking that movie.
I don't think I saw that one.
Yeah, that's with him and I believe Steve Zahn. Yeah, Steve Zahn. Yeah, it's a decent movie.
Correct. Yeah, but I do want to review Black Knight sometime. I totally forgot about it. Great. It was good. It's a good fun movie.
That is definitely an All Too Real 2 movie to cover.
Yeah.
So, up front, even though we haven't gone into the plot yet, I just wanted to get some like trivia out of the way, if that's cool.
Yeah.
The name of Martin Lawrence's character is not revealed until 50 minutes into the film.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. 50 minutes of an hour and 37-minute film.
Wow, I didn't know that. Shit.
Yeah. Martin Lawrence and John C. McGinley would also appear together in Wild Hogs 10 years later. This is Martin Lawrence and Giancarlo Esposito's second movie together. They were in Spike Lee's joint Do the Right Thing, you know? Yeah. So there's this one thing on trivia that I think somebody put on there like in a funny way, but it's like true. But the way they word things is kind of funny. Okay, so the final cookout scene featuring the song "See You When You Get There" by Coolio featured that. I'm sorry. Who was a contestant on Fear Factor a few years later, alongside the late great Kelly Preston, who is in this movie. The Celebrity Fear Factor episode came down to Coolio and Preston squaring off against each other in the final challenge, which Preston won while her husband John Travolta looked on. And this is the part I think is kind of funny, proving once and for all that fear is not a factor for her. But the fact that that is written right after they say that her husband John Travolta was looking on, and I'm like, are they trying to imply that people should be afraid of John Travolta? I mean, he is a Scientologist, but I don't know, you know, so was she, but that's the story.
No, according to, what's her name? Leah Remini? Is that how you pronounce it? Leah
Remini. Yeah.
He said that John Travolta has, I don't know the exact phrase, but basically he has murder rights, where if John Travolta murders someone, like, his assistant basically has to, like, clean up the mess and, like, basically, like, hide the fact that he killed someone. So maybe, fears.
Yeah, I'm sure he has that. Tom Cruise definitely has that.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, there's also been rumors that Scientology and John Travolta are hiding the fact that he is either bisexual or gay, but that's neither here nor there. I don't really care about his personal life, but you know, yeah, because mainly reason that they're doing that is because like Scientology doesn't really support gay rights at all. So
right. Yeah.
That's the more important part of it that I think a lot of people, you know, overlook when they're trying to be their salacious thing. It's like, oh, John Travolta might be gay. But no, what the worst part is the fact that, you know, like Scientology donated a bunch of money to like, getting bills passed to try to deny gay marriage in California and things like that. The like Proposition 8 and stuff like that. So yeah. So they are not good.
Nope.
What goes down here in Nothing to Lose Town?
So we kind of open. This is sort of important for the plot because it kind of leads the way to, you know, what's going to happen throughout the rest of the film. So it starts off with Tim Robbins.
Nick.
His name is Nick, and his wife. The guy's wife's name. They play this game where they like say bad things to each other and try to keep a straight face. And so like he's like, I'm not attracted to you anymore. I think you're a fat idiot or whatever. And she's like, so I've been experimenting with men and women, and your father was great or something like that. And so this sets in motion because it's important because then what follows that is, after he comes home from work, he brings her flowers, which apparently he does all the time because like the kitchen is just full of flowers.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he just does this every single day. And
well, if I was married to 1997 Kelly Preston, I think I would bring her flowers every day too.
Yeah, but there's no room.
She was a beautiful woman.
I know. And so he ends up going to work. We got the dude who plays Chuck. in Better Call Saul. He plays Nick's
Michael
boss.
McCann.
Yeah, Michael McCann. He plays Nick's boss. He's kind of like a weird dude who is nice, but he like collects weird artwork, and he got this weird fertility guy with like a big dick or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it has a long penis, but the thing that is really interesting about it is, so it's like this small little kind of like chubby character with a face. You know, it's got a face like where a normal face should be, but then the long penis comes out, and at the end of the penis is a face.
Right. So it's like, what the hell is that all about? I don't know. I swear to God, I think some of these ancient people were just high all the time. I think this came up.
Well, my thing is I don't know if is it really based on an actual like ancient, artifact, or is it like something that they just created for the movie to be funny?
They could be either or, honestly, because there's some really weird, funky shit.
But either way, it does say a lot about whoever decided to put a face on the end of a penis.
Right. It's like talking about. Yeah, and so he goes home after just sort of, because I guess he works kind of like as a advertisement.
He's an advertising executive, according to Wikipedia. Yeah. So
I guess his boss is like the head or something like that who oversees him, I guess. And so there's like this sort of funny scene where these guys are trying to do their pitch, and this one guy has a mascot for a cookie company called what was the Heidi Ho Cookies or something like that, or
I don't remember. I may have zoned out at that part.
Character called Zippy, who if chocolate chips are like everywhere he walks, there's a trail of chocolate chips, and so Nick's like, it looks like he's pooping everywhere. And so he's like, all right, can't use that. And so he comes home with his flowers after kind of flirting with the florist who's like got really, really pretty eyes. And she's like, I wish I get flowers every day or something like that.
Yes,
and
played by Rebecca Gayheart. Yes.
Yeah, she'll come in later, but that's kind of like what that's all about. And then he comes home, he hears noises, he thinks maybe someone had broken in. Instead, he sees his wife having sex with the dude, and then he sees cufflinks that says PB, and those are the initials of his boss, and they look kind of like his cufflinks too. By the way, I hate cufflinks. I think they're stupid. That's the whole thing. Anyway, he's never got them.
Before we get too much further, I know this is just more, not gossip, but like celebrity dirt. Rebecca Gayheart killed somebody in real life. Yeah. On June 13th of 2001, while driving a vehicle owned by Italian actor Marco Leonardi, was a co-star of hers in From Dusk Till Dawn 3, Gayheart struck a 9-year-old Jorge Cruz Jr. as he walked across the street in Los Angeles. Cruz died the following day from his injuries. Gayheart paid the family $10,000, the equivalent of $17,800 in 2024, for Cruz's funeral expenses. On August 7th of 2001, Gayheart made her only public statement on the incident, in which she said, "The pain of this tragedy will live with me forever. Despite the allegations in the lawsuit, the facts will establish that this was a most unfortunate accident." On November 27th of 2001, Gayheart pleaded no contest to vehicular manslaughter. She was sentenced to 3 years of probation, 1 year of suspension on her license, $2,800 fine, equivalent to $5,000 in 2024, and 750 hours of community service. The parents of the boy filed a wrongful death lawsuit, which was eventually settled out of court. Yeah. Also, she was early in her career, groomed by creep Brett Ratner. He directed X-Men Last Stand, the Rush Hour films, some other things, and Horrible Bosses. I think I want to kind of call it grooming, even though it's not really. I guess you can't say it is, but I'm just calling this myself. But Gayheart met Brett Ratner the day she moved to New York City in 1986, when she was 15 years old and he was 18. So it's like a 3-year difference, but then they were in a relationship for 13 years after that. So yeah, I just came across that when I was looking. I didn't know that about that, but Brett Ratner is a sex pest. So anyways, that was our little dish here.
Well, yeah.
So back to the plot.
Oh yeah. So basically, he just kind of drives around town aimlessly, throughout L.A. And then at stop time, Martin Lawrence's character shows up. Somehow just randomly in his car without ever hearing the door open, apparently. I guess he just found a way in. I don't know if he's got magic powers or whatnot. And then he like, it's Martin Lawrence. Like
I mean, Martin Lawrence has magical powers just in general. I mean, the guy can travel back to like, you know, the Middle Ages and become a knight. So, you know, he's got magical powers.
He's got good stuff. It's just not intimidating whatsoever. It's like Nick's just not having it, you know, like he's got nothing to lose. Oh, get it?
Yes.
And then just slams on the gas and just takes Martin for a ride, essentially locks the doors, throws out his wallet out the window, then just drives all the way to Arizona from California that's a lot of driving.
Yeah.
That's Are they in LA in this movie?
Yeah.
Okay, so LA to Arizona, that would be like, how much driving would that? That would be like, how many hours?
Los Angeles to Arizona drive is, from Los Angeles to Arizona, according to just the first thing that pops up on Google, is 5 hours.
Okay, that's not too bad then. I was thinking it'll be much. Okay, still, it's a long drive, but that's not
like you're just, you know, my thing is, it's like, you're in this car for 5 fucking hours before, I don't know, it's just weird. Like,
it's,
there's desert in California, probably close to, Los Angeles too, that you could have just gone to, I don't know. But
just aimlessly, I don't think he actually drove to Arizona.
Oh, no, I know. I mean, I don't think he would have, but it's just kind of weird in the writing is what I'm saying. But yeah.
Yeah, I understand. It's just, this movie is very strange in a lot of ways because it doesn't really, I don't know, like there's another scene later on I want to talk to you about because I don't really understand it personally, but like, so, but I'll get to that later. But,
well, actually, I recalculated. Yeah. Los Angeles to the border of Arizona is only 3 hours and 9 minutes.
Okay. Well, may have been not that huge long of a drive, but still.
Yeah.
When crazy person's driving, you can't get out. That's, especially since you already tried to commit a crime against that person, so now you're kind of like stuck in a position now of whatever. He kept saying, "Don't kill me, Freaky Jason," or whatever. Being all Martin Lawrence. All Martin D, you know, and, they find this diner, turns out, Nick threw out his wallet, so he can't pay for the breakfast, but lo and behold, Martin, or whatever his character's name is, that we learned 50 minutes into the movie. What's his character? What's Martin's
character's name is either Terrence Paul or T Paul.
Oh, right. Well, he called himself T, but his real, So
his real name is Terrence, yeah.
He and/or Taryn had some money in his pocket, so he gave the waitress the money, and so, you know, Nick's like, okay, I'll drive you back home if you give me some money for gas. And he's like, wait a minute, I just remembered I have a credit card. And so they try to like race to the car to see who's gonna get credit card, and the waitress, she's not fucking around. She hits them both with a frying pan because she's not going to have, you know, a big fight in her parking lot. So, but she lets him back in. That was kind of nice. I wouldn't have let him back in if they got to a huge brawl. But she let him sit, you know, to their old table, you know, to, you know, I guess get better and then drive off into the sunset, literally. And so, where the movie splits off, right? So there's their B plot where the dude from Scrubs and the dude from Breaking Bad, I know Esposito, but I don't know the first name.
It's John C. McGinley and Giancarlo Esposito. So yeah.
Giancarlo Esposito and then so dude from Scrubs, and then and so they are like a team who steal like basically like on a certain highway within Arizona, and so the cops are after these people, and it kind of gets mixed up at one point because Martin Lawrence's guy T, he's also committing robbery, and so
and he's going around with a white dude, and the other people are a white dude and a black dude, you know. So yeah.
So like that causes some kind of confusion, and then the other group, though, they kind of see what's up, and they're like, hey, you know, it's our territory. You can't steal shit here or whatever. And, they're about to get into like a gunfight. And then like Nick just like goes on like psychologically just reads this guy. Like,
yeah, I mean, earlier they had come up with the plan to rob his boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he thinks the boss was sleeping with his wife.
Yeah.
And, they somehow decide to work together to do that. Yeah. So.
Yeah, because like Nick's kind of like, like, I don't know, wear a mask, instead of showing, because the cops have a thing called a lineup.
Yeah.
and so they'll pick you because they saw your face, and he's like, I don't know, do a little research, maybe case out the place for a while. Then he just starts thinking about, he's like, I don't know, for example, at my place, and then he starts, oh wait, okay, the wheels are turning in his mind, and he's like, yeah, my boss has got like $700,000 cash just in his fucking safe in his office here. Why would you put that in your office? Work? It seems dumb, but like.
Well, some people, they probably have just that for spending money, and he probably has more money in the bank, I'm assuming.
It's probably, but still, it's a weird place to ever. And so they go, this is the part I want to talk to you about. So they go home, to T's apartment, right?
Yeah.
We're supposed to be led to believe that, like, T is kind of like financially struggling. He, doesn't really have a job, or when he does find work, it's usually not that, doesn't pay that great. They go into his apartment, and his apartment looks like some luxury apartment. It's got like 4 bedrooms. There's like a grand piano. Like, what's going on here? I thought it was supposed to be a tour. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like.
I don't think it really that grand. I mean, not the piano, but like I don't think he had a grand piano. He had like a.
Still
it was like, I don't know. It looked kind of like it was a bad neighborhood, regardless of what.
Well, that's the point I'm making, though, is how.
Yeah. It could be one of those things that is like rent controlled too, like where you're not paying a lot, but because of that, sometimes I'm not saying that rent should go up higher, but sometimes because of that, the neighborhoods around that end up being bad because people are, lower income people, and then
right.
Yeah.
I was wondering though, because it looked like a really, really nice and big apartment. It wasn't like some tiny little thing. I mean, it was like a nice.
And you think about it though. It's like it's movie logic too, because that's considered a bad apartment in movie logic. I mean, if you think about it, like the apartments that like Jerry lived in and Seinfeld and like Monica lived in on Friends and stuff. There's no way somebody could have afforded that in New York City in the 90s.
Then again, also too, in the 90s, people had better things of living, standards of living.
Somebody, I read an article years ago where somebody broke it down, and they're like, there's no way. And I mean, Monica was under rent control because of her grandma, but still, even under that, her apartment would not have, there's no way that her apartment would have been that big for what she was paying. Supposedly. So yeah, I mean, with her job and stuff. And, then, Jerry, even being a touring stand-up, there's no way he could have afforded that apartment, So it's like,
yeah, exactly. So there's like child abuse goes on here, where, T's Terrence's mother slaps him a bunch of times, and it's supposed to be made for comedic effect. Like, it's the black maid beats her children, isn't it?
I mean, technically, it's not child abuse because they're adults.
Whatever.
So.
It's abuse. Progeny abuse. But,
yes.
It's that stereotype, I hate, where it's like, the black people need to discipline their kids, otherwise they're not like, but that also causes like trauma, and it's like,
and it's always the older. It's the older, grandmother or mother in the black family that is like the quote unquote abusive one. It's like, yeah.
I mean, a lot of that is unfortunately like generational shit, and hopefully over time, because like it's not good. Like beating your kids doesn't do any. It doesn't make them it might make them behave well, but it's not. But at a price of lasted trauma, stuff like that.
Sanity,
They played for laughs because 1997, so whatever. And then she slaps Nick as well because she assumes rightly that they're up to something, no good. Because, and then that's right. I forgot too, because technically Nick got shot, but not really.
The bullet just grazed him basically. So yeah.
And that was when they were having a face off with the other two guys, because, T had the gun and he was kind of waving it around radically, and then it went off and, grazed Nick. I'm kind of jumping around, but there's this one scene.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
Sorry, there's this one scene. Why don't you tell it where the spider thing, 'cause that's my favorite scene.
Oh, well, so, basically, they're driving and T tells, Nick, he's like, yeah, there's a spider on your head. And, he's like thinking that's some kind of slang, I guess. I don't know. But it's like, what does that mean? He's like, no, there's a motherfucking spider on your head. And he pulls over and gets out of the car, and then he had spilled some gas on his shoes before that. And then how did they catch on fire?
There was conveniently a pair of matches on the ground.
Yeah, and so they lit up somehow, which doesn't really make sense. But anyway, so and then they caught his shoes on fire. Yep.
Yay.
Good time.
And they're playing Scatman.
Yeah. Scatman. And he got a hot foot, so it's good. Yep, like you do.
Like you do. Oh, man. See, that's the thing with this movie that I don't know, like, the timing just seems off. Like, the comedic timing, I don't know how to, something about it, it just feels like, I don't know, like, off.
I mean,
like, even right after that.
Not to call him out, but I don't know if Steve Odekirk is that necessarily that great of a director. It's like, I'm not sure. But I don't know. I mean, because like basically, like his most famous movie that he directed is probably Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls, and that was kind of diminishing returns from the first one. It's like, yeah.
I don't like either. I think
I used to when I was younger, but now I really don't. So I've rewatched them sometime in the last 10 years or so, and I just couldn't get into them. So yeah. I mean, overall, like a lot of early Jim Carrey, I really can't get into anymore, and actually a lot of Jim Carrey in general. Nothing against him. I mean, I think like his more dramatic roles are better. I mean, Man on the Moon is a great movie where he plays Andy Kaufman. And The Number 23 I really like. So yeah, it's just that's more of a horror film. And like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, he's great in that. So yeah.
Erwin Show is good. He was also in a movie called Once Bitten in the 80s before he even got big. Like 10 years before Ace Ventura: Pet Detective came out, he was in a movie called Once Bitten.
He was also in the He was also in the Deadpool, which was a Dirty Harry movie. So yeah.
So anyway, yeah. So, I did not like Nature's Call at all. So it could have been or just could have been maybe Tim Robbins and Martin Lawrence didn't have pretty great, chemistry with each other, comedic.
Yeah, I mean, I think they were okay. It's just me. I don't know. I see this as like, I mean, Tim Robbins, I think it was just the way he was playing the character more than anything. But there could have been more. I mean, I think his character needed to have a little bit more anxiety.
Yeah.
But the reason that he didn't is because it's because of the title of the movie, Nothing to Lose, where he's just basically like, I don't give a fuck. But he wasn't playing that strong enough, in my opinion. And I think the chemistry would have worked better if one of them had more anxiety, either him or Martin Lawrence. Martin Lawrence did at times, but it was more like, I don't know. I'm looking for like, your stereotypical like anxiety-ridden person, like an Alan Arkin or a like Woody Allen sort of, feel, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yay.
But, yeah. So basically then we get to the point where, so the bad guys are chasing them. They got a hold of, Nick's, business cards. So they know, who he is, and they kind of realize that they're going to Los Angeles now. So they, and that's, then like he had taken, T-Paul had taken him to his apartment, like you said earlier. So then they go off to do their little robbery. And during the robbery, they slice off the dick of the statue. And, at one point they're trying to get out, and there's a security guard played by the director who literally dances for over an hour to this music, and kind of, they have to wait him out basically. Before they left the room though, Nick stupidly takes off his mask and flips off the camera and shit like that. So he's going to get caught for stealing all the money out of the safe. So they go off to a hotel, and Nick's just kind of like feeling kind of like down, and he didn't have the high that he was expecting after he, robbed the place.
Yep.
And, so he leaves the room, goes down to the bar, to have a drink. And then Danielle, the florist, comes in, and she seems to have a crush on Nick. So he's like wasted, and he buys her a drink, and then she basically offers to take him up to her room to have sex. but when he's there, he changes his mind and leaves. And then he calls his wife to confront her about the affair.
Like you do.
Yeah, but she explains that, this is the thing. It's like none of this would have happened if he would have just taken a beat.
Yeah, I know.
And, maybe talked to his wife. Even if she was having an affair, you still probably should have taken a beat and like talked to her in person before you went off crazy in your car and, drove to Arizona and shit. He ends up not having sex with her. While this is happening, T is back in the hotel room, but the two guys who were named Rig and Charlie, they get there and they basically steal the money from T, and they hung him out a window of the room on the balcony. He's hanging on a chair with a sheet tied to it that is stuck in between the doors. So if you open the door, he's going to fall.
Right.
And so then they have I think that was kind of clever, actually. Funny scene where, Nick gets back and sees him there and he's trying to save him, and he, figures out that he can grab the sheet right when he opens the door, and they do that, and then, but he still ends up falling, and he ends up falling right onto the balcony below him. So, yeah. So then they go off after the guys. Yeah, what was he say?
I think they knew that. They didn't actually intend on killing him. I think they just wanted to scare him a lot.
Well, my thing is I don't know if he would have fallen on the balcony below if Nick hadn't grabbed the sheet to kind of change the physics of the situation.
Oh, okay.
Because I think that kind of made it so he didn't fall as far. Like, I think if you would have just opened the doors, then it would have just fallen, So I don't think the guys give a shit about, T's life or anything. They would have killed him. But then again, if they didn't care about his life, why didn't they just shoot him?
Well, because the one guy said it would be too loud.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. But I mean, still, they could have, they could have strangled him. They could have done anything. It's just, that wouldn't have been loud. Yeah. So after Nick calls Anne, he finds out that it was actually her sister who was there, and the sister's fiance who were in the bed, who just, my thing is okay, you say you're gonna, spend some time at your sister's place. She says, there's a key in the flower pot that you can use to get in. And one of the first things you do when you're just hanging out at your sister's is have sex on her bed.
Yeah, that's weird. Like, I don't like that. Like, that's bizarre, I would say.
I've been in relationships, and been, house sitting or other things, but it wasn't like the first thing we do when we got there was, get busy.
Yeah. It's like you can't take a beach, something, maybe have a glass of water. You're like, no, we're immediately gonna go to my sister's bed and fuck. It's just like, what the hell?
Yeah, like when I've done it in the past, it was like I was house sitting. It wasn't like there was a chance when this happened that the person I was house sitting for would have came home.
Nope. Do it, man. She looked like her sister. I don't know if they were twins necessarily, but they were.
They look similar. They look similar from the back. Basically, they both have red hair, and
Yeah.
It wasn't like he was a complete idiot and like she had black hair or something. And it's like, yeah, that's my wife. She dyed her hair and now is having sex in the bed. Yeah.
Would it be even creepier though if it wasn't her sister? Was just like someone had broken the house and then leave. That's gotta be a weird fetish that someone's gonna come up with. Great. Now I said it's out in the ether.
I think I'm one of the crime shows like Law and Order or Criminal Minds or one of those type of things that I watched in the past. There was somebody that would break into people's house and they would just have sex.
That's so fucking weird, man. Like there's such a violation and in a weird way, because it's not like a direct violation. It's not like you're forcing this, but like you're still invading someone's space.
I think that's probably what got them off about it. You know what I mean? Got them excited. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah,
that was a whole different. Anyway, so they he's like, fuck. Now I gotta go put the money back because I showed my face, flipping off my boss, thinking that he was having sex with my wife, and so
he's got to get the money because frickin' Frack took the money. What was their names? Rig and Charlie.
they got Yeah.
They stole the money, so they go after them. They find them and they get the money. And they end up tying the guys up in an alley, and the cops find them, and it's like, oh, we got the bad guys that are wanted in Arizona. So he's put the money back, and then Nick goes back to his job, and he finds out that Philip is reviewing the security tapes to investigate the burglar who vandalized his statue. That's another thing that would be weird if you just broke into places and vandalized statues.
Yeah.
Well, it's like that movie that Jeff Anderson from Clerks wrote and directed.
Well, yeah.
Now you know, where they would break into places and just change the furniture slightly.
Yeah.
That was all they did.
What the hell? Yeah.
They would just move. They would move around the living room furniture or something,
Like a total mind fuck, bro. Yeah, totally. Yeah, so but then of course he has to give up his half of the money, and so there's this one line that I actually thought was kind of cute. Not cute, but kind of sad, where it's like, well, I could get my life back, and then he's like, yeah, you're forgetting something too. Is like, I get my life back too.
Yeah,
bad. And
I mean, it was a good point of view, where it's like basically like it seems like T is been passed over. He's really well known, and knowledgeable when it comes to electronic type stuff, and it seems like he's getting passed over for jobs because of his color, So
he got a degree. And he's so many different jobs. He goes through probably at least 30 or 50 rejection, job and responses. But he gets the money back. It's the right thing to do. And then we find out, there's a robbery or vandalism, but they're going to review the tapes. But he said they only review tapes when something is taken. But since he cut off the dick of the statue, the boss wants to know who did it. So he's, he's distracted him. He's like, Nick, please, I'm trying to watch this, and then it turns out that the freezes right where he's about to take it off, and then the video is played of him with his feet on fire during fires.
Yeah.
And so I just that T and or Taryn had done that, and they're like, well, we didn't hire an electrician to come here, and Nick's like, oh, I forgot, I did order one earlier because there was lights were flickering or something like that, or whatever, some excuse, and so he's crying, oh, my statue or whatever, and then we're like, okay, this is there's so many weird things in movies I've seen from the past where I only remember certain things, for this movie, there's only a few scenes I actually even remember. I remember the sex thing, Salesforce 13, so I was like, oh, I get to see simulated sex in the real movie, I gotta put the rewind closet, type of thing. So that's, I'm not even joking. I remember the exact position and everything. It was fucking uncanny. When I saw it again, I'm like, yep, that's what the bed looks like. Yep, that's what
wow.
Hair looks like, And so I remember that scene, of course, you do. I remember the very end scene, which is not important to the movie whatsoever, but I remember that. I remember, obviously, Spider, the Scatman. But I thought it was a bat. So I forgot Spider. I thought it was a bat that was on his head, but it was Spider. It makes more sense in the desert. And I remembered, I totally forgot about the other two guys.
Yeah.
Totally forgot about them. I barely remember the diner scene. And it's just weird for some of these old movies that I had watched so many times in the past. Just have such very little memory of actually what happened, in the actual movie. But certain little lines here in the movie, I started I kind of remembered oh, okay, I kind of vaguely remember this conversation between the two things. But yeah, usually inconsequential stuff, the spider scene, probably began. That was a really popular song at that time, and it was played all too much. It was played on the radio too often.
Oh yeah,
that
was one of those one hit wonders. Yeah.
He's actually a musician. He's got several albums, but that was his one.
Passed away, unfortunately. I watched what's his name? Todd in the Shadows video about the song. So yeah, on YouTube. So yeah, if you want to learn more about Scatman, watch that video. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you've ever watched Todd in the Shadows, but he's
that guy. Yeah, he's got great not reviews. I guess kind of like a review.
Yeah. Or he does reviews of songs. He just did one about some new song recently. Like he does, reviews of songs, but he also does his one hit Wonderland is what he's called it. And so he does. Yeah.
And so there's that one. And I remember the very end of the movie, which I shouldn't remember because there's nothing important to it whatsoever. But I specifically remember the end where the grandmother / the G's mother who physically abuses them, brings like some special jar of mustard.
Yeah.
That made or I don't know if it was just me remembering this incorrectly, but I seem to remember it was like a finite amount of mustard that was like a special type of mustard.
It was like she had her own special mustard in a little jar. So that was it was like Mama's special mustard or whatever. And but we also we end on the fact that Nick offers T-Paul a job as an electrician and security expert to work on the new security system for his company. So, that's cool. Yeah. And I guess according to Wikipedia, there's a post-credit scene, but I didn't watch that.
There is, but I wasn't really paying attention. Oh, no, it was when the first guy that they robbed, the one that shot our, they gave him like a bunch of money or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Something. They gave him something that kind of like offset the fact that they had like souls from him, I guess. And I just like smiled.
Yeah, I didn't know there was that scene, so I didn't see it. So yeah.
Playing in the background, and then that's like pre-Marvel, man. That's like it's the Marvel universe.
They were setting up the sequel where it was going to be a bigger Nothing to Lose universe, where you had the Nothing to Lose multiverse or something. It was going to be. There was going to be several T-Pauls and Nicks, in different universes that had different lives and did different things and stole different money and stuff,
That's NTLCU, and then one is actually the other guys are the good guys, and that Tim Robbins and Martin bad team. And then also you have one universe where Nick is a serial killer and set him off was seeing supposedly his wife cheating on him, but it was also her sister in that.
There's another universe where he's wrongfully accused of killing his wife, and he spends years in Shawshank Reformatory, and he goes by the
plot. Like, what the hell? Like, why is Tim Robbins in 2 movies in 3 years? Each one's about his wife either cheating on him or he thinks that she is. Like, really? Like,
yeah.
Okay, and we should do a movie. I can't talk today. It's too hot. I'm having issues, so I'm like, can't think this quick. But like, and there's this video that came out recently. I think you showed it to me with Eddie Burback and his brother. They have a channel together, just Burback, and they did a thing about the history of crossover episodes or crossover. That was pretty interesting.
Crossover
video.
Movie, everything, and TV shows.
We should do one about the post credit scene. History of
maybe we'll do that. Maybe that'll be a video. So subscribe to our YouTube channel, folks. We might put some stuff up there. I'm toying with the idea of doing video for the podcast as well. Trying to figure out how to go about that. We'll figure it out, folks. Both of us are kind of apprehensive about being on camera and stuff, so we're gonna figure that out. So
something like that. No big deal.
What's that?
But I'll just have like an avatar that no big deal.
Trying to figure that out. I mean, I have no major problems being on camera, so we'll figure it out. But I've been on several other people's podcasts that do video. So, check those out in the links if you want to see my beautiful face.
Yep.
Yes. Because you do. But anything else to say about this movie here?
No, just I would recommend it. Just to watch once at least. Pay attention to it though.
It's a good Sunday afternoon movie where you're got it on in the background or something. It's nothing. I'd say that same thing. But anyways, folks, thanks for listening. Be sure to check out our website, all2real2.com. There's links to our social media, to our YouTube, to everything on there. Everywhere you can subscribe to the show. Anywhere that you can, give us a like, a follow, give us a 5-star review if you can do that. Comment on our videos, comment on our audios,
our
vids and our does, and our vids and our odds, and just do that. Help spread the word, share the show. Join our Patreon. That's a good way to support the show. You can get some levels, get some stuff. We'll be updating that a little bit. There's a link to that on all2real2.com. do that.
Do it,
to each
man.
other.
Yeah.
Be good to each other, folks, because the world's fucked up. Yeah, be nice. Don't be an idiot. Don't think it's cool to justify genocide and
No.
things of that nature. Just remember that trans lives are human lives. No human is illegal. Free Palestine. Be different. Be yourself. Remember that I love you. There's a spider on your motherfucking head.
No.
Sesame loves you. And until next time, bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to All Too Real 2 podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.